We have this reporter that goes by the name of Sabrina that dropped the behind-the-scenes information about Caitlyn Clark at this USA basketball training camp. And the way that she's talking, Caitlyn Clark made this team, fam. She made this team the way that she's talking.
Team USA practice just turned into the most uncomfortable week anyone in that gym had ever experienced.
Yeah, the GOAT. Logo threes are back, y'all. Logo threes are back like they never left. Caitlyn Clark doing it to him. Caitlyn Clark is on fire. Day 3 of Team USA camp. The girl couldn't miss. It was like throwing a rock in the ocean for Caitlyn Clark. Day 3 of Team USA camp. The best player in the gym. Best player.
Do you think Caitlyn's dominance at Team USA practice was intimidating other players? Level.
Very near future. And we wrote about that on the site, just like how people have been perceiving the negotiations and what still affects them and what they're thinking about with regards to the new collective bargaining agreement. But for now, just good time at camp. 3 days in North Carolina. A little snow on one of the days, you know, just a little taste of the winter in the South. But
right.
Let's talk about what just went down at Team USA basketball training camp. Because according to everyone was happy about it.
when she was not playing with Aaliyah Boston, some of the bigs didn't know what to do with her passes. Like there was one time where she passed it to Hamby and Hamby like brought the ball down. It's like, you can't do that. Like this is not,
you gotta keep it up.
You have to keep it up, right?
Straight up, right.
Just like not expecting, you know, where that was coming. But FIBA, naturally, just a lot more physical than other levels of basketball, even more physical than the WNBA, which is, you know, something to be said considering all the conversations we had about that level of physicality during this 2025 season. So having to see Caitlyn like go at scouting players who were, you know, instructed to play at a FIBA level of physicality was interesting considering how long she's been out and the fact that she's still ramping up injury wise, but she looked good. She was just like so happy to be there and like was individually like telling media members how nice it was just to, like talk to them again and like that she was just part of the basketball process, even if that includes all of these other responsibilities.
Now, before we get into the drama, let's set the scene. Team USA camp was supposed was Impact.
And just fun to like see the players in a live game situation again, because you think about like Caitlyn hasn't played since July 15th, you know?
Yes.
There are 4 sparks of this camp. Their season ended on September 11th, right? So it's been a long time since any of them have really played competitive basketball. You know, you saw some situations where like Caitlyn's stuck guarding Kelsey and Kelsey's, you know, knocking her off the ball and Caitlyn gets called for a foul and she starts yelling at the refs like, she's grabbing me, and all of the coaches from WNBA teams who were sitting there watching are just cracking up. Kelsey had one situation where she sort of finished through traffic. She'd been struggling a little bit, you know, got through to the hoop, just like yells right in like Becky Hammon and Nikki Fargas's face, and they're just like cracking up. Like
A reporter named Sabrina dropped some behind-the-scenes information about what went down at this camp. operating at a different level.
Two things that you wrote about, just Caitlyn Clark being back on the court. You also got a quote out of Sue Bird about her being impressed with Caitlyn just being engaged while she was out and getting back to being able to play. A little bit about what Caitlyn looked like on the court, how much fun she was having, how important it was. And then someone else, Angel Reese on the other side, talking about Chicago. That was the article I was not expecting.
Yeah, so we'll start with Caitlyn. Obviously, she suffered a lot of just a bevy of injuries in her sophomore season, played her last game on July 15th, even before All-Star Weekend. This was her first real 5-on-5 action since that injury with the fever, and it was a combination of like USA players going against USA players and then also USA players going against the scout team, which was just like players from small colleges all across North Carolina sort of helping out with that scout team practice.
But here's where things get interesting. Angel Reese was also at this camp, and she this camp weren't ready.
So it appears that Caitlyn Clark is truly back healthy. The three-point shot is back. The logo threes are back. And what I really liked about that second one is that was going right. A lot of Caitlyn Clark's threes are coming on a snatch back, going backwards, or to the left, or her going left. You know, she liked to go left to shoot her three. So the fact that even though it was a catch and shoot, she was still going on the right side and she caught it and knocked it down. That's a good sign.
The reporter also mentioned that FIBA basketball is more physical than the WNBA.